Hello there, and you're very welcome to another episode of the Arkham Avengers FFPL podcast. You join me, the host, along with Eamon, Hector, and Captain Fantastical Mick, where we take a look to see how the managers in this league are getting on for the season. However, we'll also be talking about much more. So kick back, stay tuned, and enjoy. And a very warm welcome to you all to this week's show. Hope you're all keeping well and you're ready for another packed episode full of chat, comments, analysis, and much more as such. I'm delighted to say Eamon and Hector are joining me today. Captain Fantastical Mick isn't with us. However, that won't stop us getting on with the show. Lads, how are you both keeping?
All is good with me. Thank you very much. I got dried out after getting soaked last week, but I still see it rains so much. I have to buy another umbrella as my other one blow inside up and out and inside down. And I just sometimes wonder why it rains so much here in this country. It's like, there is rain, but it rains constantly.
Well now, Hector, this is Ireland. I mean, you've been here long enough. Don't you realise that it rains in this country quite a bit? And when it starts raining, sometimes it doesn't know when to stop.
A bit. I feel like I'm out in shower all the time.
Yes, that's with your rubber duck, Hector.
Rubber duck? Eamon, what you mean? Huh? I don't understand.
Yes, Hector, you're out with your rubber duck. You know, when you take a bath.
When I take a bath?
Yes, when you take a bath.
Take a bath where? How? Are you going to carry this on my back?
Sorry, what?
You know, Eamon, the bath, it can be very heavy. Where you say I go with this bat?
I didn't say anything about you going anywhere with a bat. Who asked you to move a bat?
You said take a bat.
Yes, I said take a bat, as in bathe in the water of the bat. Fill the bat up with water and get into the bat and have the bat. I didn't tell you about going anywhere taking a bat or carrying a bat.
Anyway, Hector, you're in good form anyway.
Yeah, I am in good form, yes. I just got confused with what Eamon was saying.
Okay, and Eamon, how are you keeping?
I'm doing very well, thank you. All things considered, enjoying the football at the moment. It's been some very nice results as of late. Interesting to see the teams and the results. And I also think it's interesting times for our managers in this fantasy football league. Looking forward to seeing how they got on and to see who's moving, who's putting pressure on. I think we're coming to that time of the season when some managers are now trying to establish themselves.
Well, certainly. All the making of a good show. Hector, I'm going to have to ask this. How is the theology and psychology of fantasy football transfers coming along?
Yes, I have considered what you were saying last time, and I wish to speak and to say the manager. He looks to improve his team. He looks around after so many game weeks have gone by. We at the moment now, we're up to game week 15. And the manager thinks, what do I do to get better points? Maybe I'm not getting full points, I'm getting bits of points. And at this stage, the manager sees some players and he think or she think, that player be good for my team. I want that player. But are they good enough? You see, when you factor in their games, the cost of the player and how they work in the team for you, maybe also you have 3 players from a team and you're looking at another player and you think, yeah, he is who I want. Yeah, he's going to fit in. I already have 3 players from that team. That means you're going to have to do maybe more than one transfer. You're going to have to lose the player. Have you the time to lose the points? Is it the time to lose the points? Can you afford the free hit? Maybe the wild card, you still have it. But you have to remember, as a manager, you're bringing in the players you feel suit your team, not someone else's team, your style. Maybe you're bringing in the player in on a gamble. Sometimes it's best to sleep on transfers. Don't make the transfer now. Just sleep on it. But don't sleep too much because maybe you miss the transfer deadline for the game week. And don't forget, there are some players out there the managers can take a punt on. Lessons to a manager can learn from. Plus, you need to know what your goal is. Those are things a manager has to consider and think of when they are going to do the transfers.
Is that it?
Yeah, that is it.
There really are no words. Honestly, I don't know what our listeners are going to make of what you just said.
I can tell you this, Eamon. I'm actually trying to make something out of what he said myself.
Well, when you do, will you let me know? Because I couldn't make any sense of that.
Sense of what? What you make sense of? It's easy. Why you make this so hard?
If you actually made sense and spoke sense, it wouldn't be that hard. After all of these weeks, you're still coming out with nonsense, Hector. That sounded like utter scutter to me. I don't actually know what you're driving at. I don't know what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to guide. You're actually muddling more than anything I've heard before. I'm certainly, if I was wanting to do transfers, I think you're putting me off doing transfers if I was a manager.
Can I ask, Hector, is that the end of this topic? That is what I want to know. Is there any more to come? Surely there's not, I hope. Maybe I have a little bit. Maybe I have one little bit. Perhaps maybe I speak 1 week or two after a World Cup, and then that'll be it. Okay, well, I sincerely hope so, because if we have to listen to much more of this for the rest of the season, I think I'll be wearing a straitjacket or something like that. Eamon, what do you think?
Yes, I could definitely see you in a straitjacket.
No, I mean about this topic, Eamon.
Yes, I mean, yes. I mean about that. Yes, I agree with you 100%. It's a little bit lightweight now, Hector, I have to say. You're bringing nothing to the table with regards to this topic of the psychology and the theology. I've heard nothing about the theology side of things, really.
Well, Eamon, I might surprise you.
Well, you surprise me every week.
Okay, all right. I think it's time to move on now. Eamon, over to yourself here now. You told me that you're going to have a little piece for your segment.
Yes, that's right. Eamon Tackles is back, and this week I'm tackling sat-navs.
Satellites?
No, I said sat-navs. You know, those yokes you'll find in the cars, the vans, the trucks to point you in the direction to tell you where you're going.
Oh, yes. Now I know. Sorry, now I follow. Sorry, yes.
Well, as I was saying, or started to say, sat-navs. If you've had the pleasure of using one, or using one of those apps on your phone, you'll know that they can be useful at times in getting you from A to B. But just how good are they? What about the days when your sat-nav decides to take you on a journey of its own? For example, quite recently, my friend was using their sat-nav, and after they put in the address, it told them that the destination was approximately 2 minutes away. They were instructed by the device in question to take a right turn, and as they took the right turn and drove down the road, the destination's time suddenly jumped to 12 minutes. They were advised to carry on down this road, take a right, go for so many 100 yards, take another right, carry on down the road, take another right. And lo and behold, they ended up where they started off, except this time the sat-nav was saying, take a left. Now, I ask you, what gives on that? One instance, it said take a right. The next time, it said take a left. And after they took the left, they were driving along, following the instructions. This is as bad as Mick when he got lost with his left and his right here. At the heel of the hunt, my friend said that the sat-nav said you've arrived at your destination. It was in the middle of the countryside. There was nothing near them. They were not near no house or nothing there. A complete waste of time. So that's sat-nav for you. Now, don't get me started on when these sat-navs are telling you to move forward so many yards and take a left or a right or stay in the lane there. You can't move because you're in traffic in the first place. So what does it want you to do? Drive over the cars here? Or the other thing, you're driving along and it says, oh, in so many yards, take a right or a left turn. And you look at that and do that, you're going to wind up in a field, a hedge, somebody's driveway or something like that there. So in my book, always have a roadmap, a road atlas with you and stick with that at times there. Don't put all your faith into these sat-navs because they have the capability of taking you on a wild goose chase, and especially with the cost of fuel these days, every kilometre counts.
Eamon, I have a question, if I can ask this. How do you read the roadmap, and drive at the same time?
Well, you don't, Hector, for a start, because you're not concentrating on the road, and that's not very good for you or for other drivers on the road. No, what you do is you study the map beforehand, get to know your road numbers, get an idea for where you're going to be turning, so that you can go on your merry way.
I believe as well, air codes can come in handy. Some of them are very good when you put them in on the phone and you can follow them. They're a bit like the postcodes and the zip codes that they have in other countries.
Yes, they can be useful also at times. But again, you're depending on the device to get you from A to B.
So, Eamon, you say you go by map, road, and road number, and you want to dump the satellite nav.
Don't dump it. Could give it away or sell it, I suppose, or put it in the drawer, or keep it handy, but don't put all your faith into it. My friends and I called their sat nav Silly Sally Sat.
Sally Silly. What? Why?
Well, look, are you really asking me this after all I've spoken about there? I mean, have you tuned out or something?
Oh, I understand now what you're saying. Yes, Silly Sally, the satellite, that's what they're calling her. Yeah, the sat nav. Ah, yes, now you mean. Quite good, Eamon. I like that. Yes, very good. Okay, Eamon. Well, thanks very much for your take on the sat navs. And of course, I'm sure some of our listeners have some good stories of their own regarding sat nav journeys. And sure, if you want to send us one or two of your stories in, you could always drop us an email at Arkham Avengers FFPL@gmail.com, and we will read out the story there. And sure, look, you don't even have to give a name, just send in the story and say, this is what happened to you. Now, I think it's time we'll have a look at the Fantasy Football League managers and what happened in Game Week 15. Game Week 15, of course, had highest points of 123, while the average points were 53. Eamon, would you like to take the first 7 teams and talk us through it?
Well, thank you very much. In first place, and there's no change here, is Raglan Road, 53 points. They had 2 transfers. Wilson came in for 1 point and they put Haaland out, who got 5 points. De Bruyne came in for 7 points and Salah went out for 15 points. They captained De Bruyne and got 14 points. Jesus picked up 2, Wilson 1, Bernardo picked up 1, Zaha picked up 12, Trossard picked up 5 points, Tarkowski picked up 1 point, Trippier had 12 points, Cancelo had -2, White 5 points, and their goalkeeper Guetta had 2 points. Mixed results from the transfers. Forwards are very poor in my view there, and I think you need to look at their bench, especially since they had a good number of points there. They certainly are on a run, just about holding first place. Still holding it. Can they hold it into Game Week 16 and get into the break for the World Cup? It's very tight at the moment. Very tight. In second place, no change either. Tayega, 56 points. 1 transfer. De Bruyne was brought in for 7 points and they put Salah out, who scored 15 points. Captain Mitrovic didn't play. He's picked up an injury, and their vice captain was Trossard, who got 10 points. Jesus was there with 2. Zaha had 12 points. Martinelli had 3 points. De Bruyne had 7 points. Perisic had 1. White 5. Diaz 1 point. Trippier 12 points. Dalot had no point at all. And the goalkeeper Pope 3 points. In my view, it's a poor transfer this week. Dumping Salah out like that. They should have kept faith. The captain choice was poor as well for Mitrovic. There was talk of him not playing, every possibility. However, they've matched Raglan overall. They have 876 points, as has Raglan. They too, should have looked at their bench. A lot of points there that they could have used. They've been wasted an opportunity. Probably won't be very happy that they didn't manage to nab first place. However, they are still building the pressure on Raglan. Third place then is no change either. The good, the bad, and the goalie, 59 points. They had 1 transfer. Sanchez came in for 2 points, and they got rid of this other yoke, Arzabalaga. He's injured, thank gosh. Their captain was De Bruyne, 14 points. Haaland had 5 points. Kane 8. Almiron had 8 points, Martinelli 3, Foden had 1 point, White 5, Dyer had 1 point, Dalot had no point, Trippier was there with 12 points, and their goalkeeper, of course, was Sanchez at 2 points. They really should have stuck with their goalkeeper, Ward. They have stuck with him before, and he has brought dividends week in, week out. I think they've lost faith for some reason. They are picking up points across the pitch, which is encouraging, and no doubt they're closing in on second place and on first place. They're in third, they're holding third, and they're in command of that position there. This is the experienced manager that we've seen before, and I think that they're positioning themselves well. Remember, I said that some managers will be positioning themselves in order to give that push. Fourth place then is a non-mover all. So Lafayette Lions, 56 points, no transfer this week. Haaland was the captain for 10 points. Kane was there with 8 points. Andres had 6 points. De Bruyne had 7 points. Martinelli had 3 points. Nico Williams picked up 1 point. Saliba got 8 points. They had Trippier also, who picked up 12 points. Dalot had no points. Cancelo picked them up by -2 points. And their goalkeeper got them 3 points. Defence looks a bit muddled, I have to say. And they need to maybe just sort that out a little bit there. However, they are also picking up points. And for me, I think this manager is missing the sucker punch to kick them on in order to try and break into that top 3. They're in fourth place. They're not moving far here. They're not possibly gaining enough on any of these managers in top 3, and they need something to give them that edge.
What would your suggestion be on that now, Eamon?
I think the like of Dalot, maybe they need to look at that. I think they need to look at the defence. I think shake up a little bit there. Like Nico Williams getting 1 point, Dalot is getting no point. I think Cancelo just has had a bad week. Although I don't think he's performing as good as he performed last week. And I think perhaps maybe a change of goalkeeper wouldn't go miss either. Moving on then to fifth place, a non-mover also. Cambayai and Cancelo, 59 points. They had 2 transfers and lost 4 points this week. De Bruyne was brought in for 7 points. Foden was put out for 1 point. Calvert-Lewin was brought in for 2 points, and Haaland was put out for 5 points. The captain this week was De Bruyne for 14 points. Calvert-Lewin, as I said, got 2 points. Kane picked up 8 points. Zaha was there with 12. Saka with 5. Martinelli had 3 points. Perisic had 1 point. Kilman had 1 point. They also had Trippier, who got 12 points. Cancelo was there with the -2. And their goalkeeper, Pope, got 3 points. The transfer could have been better. I think they should have stuck with Haaland. Trippier is holding up that defence points-wise. Certainly not the rest of them. I think Calvert-Lewin has been a risky transfer, especially as he's picked up a possible injury and might not be playing there. But like Raglan, Rode and Taiga, this manager should have been keeping an eye on their bench also, and probably will think that they have missed a little bit of an opportunity to close the gap on the other guys ahead of them. In sixth place, non-mover also is none other than Arkham Avengers for 58 points. They had 2 transfers. They lost 4 points. De Bruyne was brought in for 7 points. Salah went out for 15 points. Trossard was brought in for 5 points, and Foden was put out, who only got 1 point. The captain for them was none other than Haaland, and got them 10 points. Jesus was there with 2 points. De Bruyne had 7. Andres had 6. Almiron had 8. Trossard 5. Bailey had 7 points. Nico Williams got 1 point. Trippier was there with the 12. Cancelo had 2 points, and their goalkeeper Sanchez got 2 points. Putting Salah out was a big mistake. It cost them there. Trossard walked there, bringing him in. Good result. Foden hasn't been doing much, and despite everything, the midfield is looking very solid here. Trippier in defence is holding them up there, and I'm a little bit surprised here that the stubborn spoofer is holding 6th place, not being shifted out of it too quick. I expected them to have been gone from here, and it'll be interesting just to see what happens going forward. Finally, for me, 7th place, a non-mover, best season ever, 49 points, 1 transfer. Wilson was brought in for 1 point. Mitrovic was put out. They're injured. Haaland was the captain for 10 points. Jesus was there with 2. Trossard had 5 points. Bernardo had 1. Foden 1. Almiron had 8. Carr has 1 point. Trippier was there with the 12. Saliba got 8 points. And their goalkeeper Henderson had no point. The transfer for me didn't work out. I know they got a point, but it's not really a worthwhile transfer. Midfield, a bit of a flop, really, in a lot of areas there. The Bernardo 1 point, Foden 1 point, not really performing at all there. And Look, I think they lost a chance to get themselves into 6th this week. They'll be disappointed. They won't be happy. It's certainly not the best week ever for them there. Next week, a different show, and they'll try and make amends for it, no doubt.
Okay, thank you very much, Eamon, there. That's very interesting there. Trippier is the big guy to have in your defence, isn't he?
Yes, he certainly is. He's bringing back the points week in, week out. He's proving very well. I'm impressed with Almiron as well. He's a good player. He seems to be on a run. He's enthusiastic. He's a worker. He's getting points there. I think the spoofer had Bailey, and Bailey did score a quite superb goal against Man United last week. And he is like a player who's got a new lease of life also there. He's looking very sharp and is looking like a handful for a lot of defenders there. And the spoofer could be onto a winner with Bailey there.
Okay, thank you for that, Eamon. Hector, over to you now. Do you want to take the rest of the managers?
Thank you, yes. In 8th place, no mover, is the Waha Beauty 99, and they got the 39 points. They had no transfer. Haaland was the captain for 10 points. Jesus was there with 2. Tony had no point. McAllister had the 2 points. Martinelli had 3. De Bruyne had 7 points. Trossard had 5. Saliba had 8. Cancelo had the 2 points. Martinez had 1 point, and their goalkeeper was Pope, and they got 3 points. I think it'd be a desperate looking result for them. Another week with no transfers. When I look at the team there, I only see the 4 players who are performing decently. There was nothing on the bench either. I would say, woe is this manager. Whoa, they are not on track at all. They're gone off the road. They're stuck in ditch or someplace like that. They're stuck trying to get out. The wheels are going around and not going anyplace. I think maybe they hopefully when they listen to the show, they get a dig out and help out with that. There, I think they could definitely learn.
All right, have you quite finished with that now?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, I just thought you were gonna get a shovel and dig them out there or something at one point. Carry on.
Well, then in up to 9th place then. This is a surprise. Cliche Bait, 66 points. No transfers. Their captain was Jesus, got the 4 points. Kane had 8 points. Almiron had 8 points. St. Maximin had 4 points. Rodrigo had the 7 points, and Salah had 15 points. Harrison was there with 1 point. Trippier had the 12 points. Shevchenko had 7 points. They also had Cancelo, who got the -2. Their goalkeeper, Mendy, 2 points. This is the second week that this team have been lucky, but however, if I were manager above or below them, I would not be worrying because their manager here, they're not watching what's going on around them. The team are going to not be holding together, not gelling right. They are left raft out on sea, drifting away. No one there to look after them or anything like that. Then down to 10th place, and they had been in 9th last week. It's the maximum effort, 43 points. They had the 2 transfers. Solanke was brought in for 6 points. Udwald was put out, he injured. Trossard was brought in for 5 points, and Anthony was put out, he also injured. Captain though was Jesus, 4 points. Haaland had 5 points. Solanke got the 6 points, as I said. De Bruyne had 7 points. Bueno Gomes had the 7 points. St. Maximin the 4. Thiago Silva had the 2 points. Cancelo the -2 points. Botman 2 points. Van Dijk 2 points. And their goalkeeper was Ramsdale. Picked up 6 points. Very nice. The transfers are very good. Pehido, they left Trossard on the bench, and that I don't understand why. The defense, they're a bit weak in spots. But I think, we have to get thumbs up. This manager, they make transfers. They're doing something. Their captain choice, will have paid off with them. They get a few more points. But, with hindsight, you can't do nothing with that. And maybe this week they might be thinking, well, I think the Jesus. In 11th place, then, no change. Blytham squad, 67 points. And they had 3 transfers and lost 4 points. Trippier came in for 12 points. Thiago Silva went out. He only got the 2 points. De Bruyne came in for 7 points. Foden was put out. He only got the 1 point. Wilson was brought in for 1 point, and the Haaland was put out for 5 points. Their captain was the guy De Bruyne, 14 points. Wilson got the 1 point. Jesus 2. Kane had 8 points. Grosh got 9 points. Maddison got 11 points. Xhaka got 3 points. Castagne got 6 points. Trippier had 12. They had a Cancelo guy also, another -2 points. And their goalkeeper was Pope. He got 3 points. I think the transfers all worked out apart from the Wilson. Not great there. A good, decent captain choice. Nothing wrong with having De Bruyne. You know, you got the 14 points for them there. They also had a few points on the bench and a much better week for them. Now, yeah, they did not move. They did not go down, but they are only 5 points behind 10th place. They will be looking to say, I get 10 points extra. I take these guys here, no bother, on top of my extra points. In 12th place, no change, is the Real No Stars, 48 points, and they had no transfer. Haaland was the captain for 10 points. Jesus had 2 points. Martinelli had 3 points. Decore had 2 points. Aronson 2 points. De Bruyne had 7. Salah was there with 15 points. Alexander-Arnold was there with 2 points. Nico Williams had 1 point. Sorry, he had 1 point. Let every point count here. Cocorello got the 2 points, and their goalkeeper Edison also got the 2 points. Not much of a surprise here, I don't think so. You know, it's another week of lazing about, doing nothing, building on nothing, going nowhere fast. Then up to 13th place from last week's 14, Silverstroke 67. No transfers. Their captain though was Trippier, 24 points. Greenwood scored him 9 points. Saka got him 5 points. Mount had the 2 points. Trossard had 5 points. Salah was there also with 15 points. March was there with 2 points. Senesi was there with no points. Byrne had the 2 points. Bueno 1 point. The goalkeeper Mendy had the 2 points. They're still sticking with some of the non-performing players, you know. It's a good result, good captain choice. They just need to look at some of those players and not do anything. Can I say, would Greenwood still be one of those players that you're saying is non-performing? Because I know yourself and Eamon have been saying he was dead wood. Eamon, isn't that what you classed him as? Dead wood. It should have been gone. And yet he's got himself 9 points here. Yeah, well, he got 9 points this week. Doesn't mean he's going to get 9 points every week. I think Hector is right. There are still non-performing players here. That Bueno, I'd be saying goodbye to him. Senesi is not doing either. I think the two of them should be off on a tandem bicycle. All right, okay. And who our last manager then, our last team? They are also in 13th place because Silverstroke and Behar Idea 22-23 are on the same points, but Silverstroke had better week, so joint 13th. So the Behar Idea 22-23, they had 61 points and they had no transfer. They had Salah the captain for 30 points. Ings was there with 1 point. Moore had the 2 points. Andres had 6 points. Ward-Prowse had 2 points. Hojbjerg had 2 points. De Bruyne had 7 points. Diaz had the 1 point. Sanchez, no point. Saliba had 8 points. And their goalkeeper, Fabianski, they had the 2 points. It's not a great, not a great result whatsoever. Could I just say something here? Yes, Eamon, what have you got to say about this? Well, firstly, I'd like to welcome this manager to the bottom of the table. They struck lucky with Salah as the captain. And I'm emphasising that they struck lucky because they're not doing anything. There's no effort from this manager. They're not hands-on. In fact, they're definitely hands-off. Silverstroke just needs a couple of tweaks and they're going to leave this manager for dust. So this manager, in my view, there's your wooden spoon. Thank you for that. Okay, lads, listen, thank you for that. You know, it's always a pleasure to hear your thoughts on what you have to say about the managers and what they're doing there. And look, Gameweek 16 is coming up next weekend. And then we have a break until Monday, the 26th of December, when Gameweek 17 kicks off the season again. No doubt you guys are going to be watching the World Cup. Yes, I'm going to catch up with a couple of the matches. It's going to be very interesting. I hope to sit also and watch a few games, all going well. Maybe, who knows, maybe Eamon, Mick and I, maybe we sit and we watch a match or two together and chat about it. Now, before you get that idea, you're not going to do that in my house. Don't forget about Winegate. Eamon, please, let's not go there. Well, just putting it out there now. Okay, just saying. Oh, all right, Eamon, I understand. I hear you. Yeah, okay. And Hector, okay, any update on the case of the Mystery Recitation Man in Moydow? I gave a lot of thought to this over the last week, and one thing that I was kind of perplexed was it? That's right, yes, the perplexed. One thing, one thing I've been thinking a lot about. Okay, all right, okay, yeah, and I wondered, who would have sent me the text about this Miss Flanagan, especially when the number no longer exists? You know, they send me a message. I would try to message back and ring back, and it's all gone. And I think to myself then, not many people have my mobile number. Not many people know I'm investigating on this case. And I was starting then to think that the Flanagan woman on the bike is what you call, I think, a red herring. Okay. What are you trying to say here as such? That this person doesn't exist? You say it. Like a number, she no exists. Isn't that right, Eamon?
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, I bet you're sorry, Eamon. Eamon, I gave it a hot thought to this, and I think you're behind the red herring. You're trying to put me off.
What exactly are you trying to say?
You tried to throw me off track. And you admit it now. That's the truth, isn't it? You tried to do this.
Eamon, is this true?
I tell you this. He know my number. He try and put me off another track there. Maybe he hiding this requisite man, Maybe he best buddies with him, Eamon, your time is up.
Well, Hector, what have you unmasked here now? This is a turn up for the books here.
Eamon, you be this Miss Flanagan. I catch you up. No, hands up now.
Eamon, what gives? I'll tell you what gives. This bumbling buffoon is babbling on about a load of balshy bucket of balderdash. How dare you make such an accusation at me? Pointing your finger at me as if I'm some mastermind. Tell you something, I've put up with an awful lot of your nonsense over the last 2 years, and you've certainly overstepped your mark this time. Call yourself Columbo, more like Calamitous. And where did you actually jump to this conclusion that I'm behind this? It beats me. But I can tell you something, Hector. I'm not taking this.
Now, Hector, what's your response to this?
Oh, don't worry about that. Hector won't have a response. Hector will play the I no understand something card. Well, I can tell you something now, Hector. Your cards are all up with me.
Hector, have you anything to say to this now? I think Eamon be very harsh in his reply to me.
Eamon is being harsh. Hector.
Yes, Eamon.
Your investigation has been lackluster from the very start. You've faffed about and you've got yourself all muddled up now. Let me play Matlock to your Columbo. Firstly, you said Miss Flanagan doesn't exist. My good man, I carried out some research of my own, and lo and behold, she's actually a fictional character in Ireland's Own. She is portrayed as a detective who cycles on a bike. Secondly, I'm not the only one who has your mobile number. The host here has your number. Mick has your number. Your friends have your number. You actually think now I'm going to waste my time and money buying some sort of a SIM card to send you a message? Third, has it ever occurred to you that some of the people that you've been speaking to might be feeding you some incorrect or misleading information? After all, you were walking around in circles down in the Moydow place there where they said turn this way, turn that way. You found yourself in front of a pub across from the church where you started off from. You went round a complete circle there. And you've got some unknown person, we don't know who this person is, who sends you a photograph of the Northern Standard pertaining to be, this could be the guy here. Do you ever stop to think, the guy sending you that, we try to put you off scent? Fourth, I as much as anyone like to know who the man is that gave the recitation. Because I have to say, I found it entertaining and I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit more. So why on earth would I want to put you off finding him? And finally, fifth, what's my motive in all of this? Huh? Well, come on, Hector, what have you got to say about this?
Well,
here we go, host. This is it.
Eamon, you had your chance to speak. Now, let Hector talk. Eamon, I thought, you make red herring for me.
That's enough. I'm not listening to any of this there. You can't even admit when you got it all wrong. I'm not putting up with all of this there now, so it is.
Eamon, where are you going, Eamon? We're recording. Eamon, sit down.
No, you can count me out. I've had enough of hapless Hector. Sorry to our listeners, but I can't stay at this.
Hector, what in Dickens' name possessed you to launch such an accusation at Eamon? I got to thinking that Eamon, he mentioned Tour de France last week, which made me think he was making things up. Hector, I think Eamon was trying to bring a little bit of humour to matters here. I mean, look, you've gone and done it now. He's not impressed, and I actually don't blame him. I go after him. Maybe I get him back onto the show. I think maybe you better wait until he calms down a bit. Okay. We'll try to move on. You lads mentioned on last week's show that you were at an Oscars night. And would you like to tell our listeners a little bit more about this?
Yes, it'd be a fundraiser for the Arda Moydow GA Club, and they had these film clips from some movies. The judges, they selected the best actor, the best actress in the movie. There were awards on the night, and it'd be packed with lots of people there. All right, okay. And what sort of movies had they got there? The movie, they had The Snapper, A Good Few Men, Father Ted was there, The Field, Derry Girls, and they were Waking the Net as well. All right, a nice selection. So they had some movies and TV shows like Father Ted now and Derry Girls. There'd be TV shows. That's right. Yes, that was right. Okay. And I take it, did they have local people who appeared in these film clips, or what was the setup there? Yeah, local people would play parts. They would select little scenes out of the movies, and they would record them and play that, and the local people would look after that there. And then on the night, they play all the movies for us to sit and watch and listen. There was a little technical glitch with the sound, especially when they started off with the Snapper. You could hear lots of music and not much chatting. And they said, they were going to look into it and they take a break. And they got it all sorted out there, and the sound was good there. And they got prizes as well for best dressed gent and the best dressed lady. And tell us this now. Were you, Eamon and Mick, all dressed up? Had you the tux on? With the dicky bows on? Yes, we were dressed up. We had the dick bows on. Dicky bows, Hector. Now, okay, let's be clear, okay? Yes, we have the Dickies bows on. But we don't make it into the newspaper, I don't think so. Some people, I think, make it into a local paper. Maybe we be on the Facebook, I'm not too sure. However, I met lots of people, I have to say. It was very nice. And some people, they know that I'm trying to find out who the guy is who do this chat, and they in the hall. And they say that they think they know people who were there on the night and they will talk to them there. Now, hold on. Hector. If you're going back to this recitation business, let me just say, just leave it for the moment here, especially after the mess you've made with Eamon. I've actually no idea what Captain Fantastical Mick is going to say about all of this when he hears this and finds out what's going on here. If I recall correctly, there was mention of a recording from the night. I think you said you were recording on a phone or something that you had there. Is that right? That's right, yes. And have we got this recording? Yes, we have, yes. Okay. Can we hear it? Yes, I play it now, okay? Here we go.
It's too bad, it's great here, so it's not at the Oscars. Very good, I'm happy with it. Eamon, what do you think of it? It's nice, but it's a little bit busy, so it's smiling. Oh, look, there's people who recognise me. It's very nice, I think. Yes, I think you better keep quiet. No, keep quiet. It's all right, Eamon, don't worry about it. Some man's waving over here at me. I think he's understood me. I think he's trying to buy me a pint. Wonders then about going to introduce anything today, huh?
delighted to be here tonight in the Arkham Hotel to bring you an amazing Oscar show. We're bringing the nicks and glam of Hollywood, the razzmatazz town, all the way across the botlands of Ireland, here tonight in the Arkham Hotel. And we're delighted to introduce your cousins and relations, all representing Arda and Moydow GAN. Without further ado, would you like to meet the stars of tonight's show? So let's please put your hands together and welcome our Hollywood movie stars, bringing in first the cast of Derry Girls! Come on, let's hear you. Next, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the room the cast of A Few Good Men! Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the cast from The Snapper! Give them a big round of applause. Next up, please, let's make some noise for the cast from Waking Dead! Our next bunch of superstars, please put your hands together and welcome the cast from The Field! The award is for Best Male Actor. And the Oscar goes to... Willie Forbes the Field! Come on, Willie, up you come. Will you stop moaning and let him up? Come on up here, Willie. good. Give me a big round of applause. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our second last award of the evening. Our second to last award of the evening is for the best movie as voted by you, the public. So the winner of the Oscar, as voted by you, the public, is... It's Derby Girls! Can we have someone collect your Oscar? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to our final award of the evening. And I'd like to invite Michael Collender and Geraldine Tillman on stage to present the winning of the highest grossing movie, or the best overall movie. In other words, the best movie that raised the most amount of money for tonight's Oscar show. I'll hand you over to Michael.
Thank you. This was a pretty close encounter. As in, with a half an hour to go to closing time yesterday, we had €25 of a difference between three films, which was Derry Girls, Waking Ned, and Father Ted. Right now, I gotta stop this and just say, I think that everybody is winners. But like everything, I have an award to throw out that I did nothing for, that all you guys did, and all the people in the hall that supported us through this whole fundraiser. So, absolutely fantastic achievement. Throughout the entire fundraising, it kind of went on for 2 years or 2.5 years or whatever. Derry Girls led the way the whole way. No. but it comes down to the last day always, and on the last day the lead changed hands on 3 occasions. But to announce the overall winner, Charlie.
The winner of the Oscar for Best Overall Movie is Father Ted.
Can we get someone up here on stage? Congratulations. Everyone up. Well done the cast of Father there. Well done to each and every one of you here this evening. You have been absolutely amazing. As I said, we apologise for the technical hitches here tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, the clocks go back tonight. You have an extra hour in bed in the morning. On behalf of the cast and our crews here tonight, I wish you all a good night. God bless. Safe home. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Good night.
Okay, all right. Yeah, it sounds like a busy night there altogether. Plenty of applause and cheering and a bit of music and stuff. Plenty of activity. Derry, the compare there mentioned the few good men. Where did they get lost or something?
Yes, I think perhaps they took wrong direction or something to get to their seats, but they managed to get back on track.
All right, okay. You don't have much recording here, Hector. I have to say we've got snippets of it, but we don't have a lot. Is there any particular reason?
My phone, it was acting up a little bit. It would go on and off, and something come back on and stuff like that. It got wet when I got soaked the other week.
All right, okay. Well, I can tell you this. It's not the only thing that's acting up around here. Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that everyone had such an enjoyable night at the Oscars there in the Longford Arms Hotel. And look, fair play to everybody and well done. A great achievement, I'm sure. It was good fun and it's all for good cause as well. And with that, I think we better wrap up this week's show. And maybe we try and check in with Eamon. Would there be any few Hector hellos this week?
Yes, I have a few now. Not too many, a few.
Okay, off you go.
Yes, listeners, thank you very much and welcome to Hector's Hellos. This week I give special hello to listeners in Dublin, Galway, Longford, Monaghan, Cavan, the Dundalk, Liverpool, Edinburgh, Denmark, Germany, Bavaria, Sweden, Switzerland, Egypt, Iran, Japan, Australia, down in Chile too, Argentina, Brazil. Hi to everybody there. We have Trinidad and Tobago, Florida, New York, Montana, Alaska, California, Texas, Carolina is there, Canada, and the Azores.
Okay, and that's it.
That's it for now. And if anyone want to contact, I can always give a shout out. No problem. Day or night, no worries.
Thank you, Hector. Thank you for that. And also a big thanks to all our listeners there. Okay, all that remains is for me to thank you, our listeners, for joining us on today's show. Thank you very much for subscribing and following us and for joining in week after week to see what's going on with the show and on the podcast. As I said, we'll check in with Eamon and hopefully things might have calmed down. Mick will be back with us next week. Hector, will you be back next week?
I'll be back next week if that's all right.
Okay, well, I think there's a little bit of chatting and talking to go on after this show here, just to smooth things out a little bit. Folks, as always, don't forget to tell your family, friends, work colleagues about us. If you want to get in touch, you can do so by sending us an email at arkhamavengers@ffpl@gmail.com. We are on Facebook and on Twitter. The handles are in the show notes there. And all that's left for me to say is mind yourselves, take care, have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, a good night. Take care wherever you are in the world, and we look forward to talking to you next week. Slán.